Good morning, folks. AJ here. We are on our way back to the airport and we are heading back to New York for Help Out Blanche Memorial. We went up there about a month and a half ago. Um, Went up there for the day, then came back the same day, helped them out with a bunch of stuff, and saw their workflow, saw um, how some of the installers install some of their stuff. And honestly, the installer who did the stuff, they really didn't do a complete job. They were having some issues with the performance of the system. I made some suggestions. They went ahead and got all that stuff. So we are heading back up there to help them out. I'm gonna be up there by 9, and then I'm up there until 8. And we're gonna get their stuff straight, get their cameras rewired, get their ATEM reconnected, have their hyperdeck, because they had a bunch of equipment that wasn't really being utilized at all. So we're coming up there to help them out. Got some tools with me this time, and that's about it. So let's get over here to the airport. Let's get the wheels up and let's get back to New York. All right, folks, so we are back here, and some of the work we're going to do mainly is, as you can see, we're going to rewire a lot of the stuff so that we can leverage the joystick, and then just clean up a lot of the stuff that was mentioned from last time we were up here. They had like a hyper deck and some other stuff that works really great, but it just wasn't hooked up properly. So we're going to get all that stuff straight and get them up to speed. So this is the Sony joystick that they originally had. I've used this one before. We probably just gotta, I can't remember if they're getting another joystick or going to use this one, but I think the way everything was wired, it wasn't wired properly, so they weren't daisy chained to each other. So we're going to go through and get a lot of that stuff straight for them. So I'm just waiting for everybody to get here, and then we can get to work. All right, so like I said, we have the original ATEM right there. This is going to be replaced with the ATEM Mini Extreme. So a lot of this stuff we're going to need to convert over to HDMI. I believe we have those converters, so a lot of this we're going to free up and get a lot of the slack off the cables. And like I said, they had this hyperdeck that wasn't even being used because it wasn't connected. So we're going to go through and connect all this stuff up. I brought some extra cables. We're going to hook up all of the Ethernet, get all this stuff cleaned up. And I wish I had brought some F connectors for that, but we'll work on. Let's get this stuff out of the way first, and then we go from there. All right, so we've removed a bunch of stuff, got some cables out of the way that are not needed. This is to access point here. So it kind of removed a lot of the stuff that we don't need. Now, let's go through here. And a bunch of the SDIs were done wrong, so I'm going to re-terminate them. I need some couplers that I forgot to bring with me. We might have to go up to the store and get something like that, but that should be fine since I have the right connections. We'll re-terminate those and then go from there and need to convert those over to HDMI. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is add this power distribution here, and this will be what handles powering everything on instead of this stuff being on all the time. So I thought in the box it included some extra screws in here, but we might have to repurpose some of these and get this secured. But we'll do this and then connect everything up to this, and that will power everything on and off instead of this being on all the time. All right, folks, we've done a lot of stuff today. So far, we've updated the X32. We've cleaned up a lot of the stuff in here, so kind of our plans have changed. The coax here is actually dead, so we weren't getting the signal. Then also add on top of that, the TVs are only 720p. So the HDMI that you're seeing here coming from the ATEM can't work with that. So they are replacing all the TVs with 1080, well, 4K TVs, and we're getting fiber optic HDMI cables to replace the coax that are there. We have this 1x8 ORI splitter, so pretty much they just gotta. There's already a path everywhere, so it's not like the only thing they really have to do is get the one to go downstairs. But pretty much they're just going to connect the HDMIs out to the HDMI splitter. It will go to all the TVs. It's going to be a 55 here on the other side, a 55 in the front right there if you can see it, and then they're going to go with a 75 on the front with the congregation. So they're going to do that. Got plenty of cables to do that. Also, the cameras. I must have messed up on this. I know I messed up on this. So I thought the cameras were SDI and HDMI. They're SDI only. So ordering 3 more SDI to HDMI converters, and these are all the cameras that are connected there. That will now connect to the ATEM. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I've also added these, and I've used these before, these RS232 to Ethernet adapters, because these are using a RS422 block, and I have absolutely no idea how they were wired in the wall. So what I'm going to do is get these adapters and use the traditional RS232 and replace those, terminate the cables that are already ran to each location. They plug into this, and then actually, now that I think about it, I have some other Marshall adapters. I think I'll send them, and then I'll have to do this at all. So the Marshall adapters will plug into the RS232. We terminate those cables as Ethernet and just daisy chain them, and then we would have the adapter plugged directly into the RS232, instead of the RS422 block. So I'm gonna order that, send that. Right now, we have to break the news to the finance folks about some more stuff. But again, the pastor wanted it. So what I'm gonna do is I got the board updated and everything. I'm gonna make the live stream mix so and actually they already have it streamed. So I need to do the output of that, send it to outputs, XLR outputs 1 and 2. That's what I have connected to the ATEM, and then we go from there. All right, folks. So we've done a lot wrapping up in here. So we got some stuff done. We're gonna get some more converters, like I showed you, of hooking that up. And the HDMI to coax died. So instead of getting another one, they're going to go ahead and get 4K TVs, because all of these are 720p. They're going to change the TVs out. We're going to run fiber optic from here. That will go to there. Doing a brain dump on everything from the ATEM and the flow. So what they're going to do, and this is my same suggestion for all of y'all who ever go into this stuff, don't try and just jump all the way in. So the suggestion is for them to run the live stream without live streaming, just recording it, and then playing around with the sound, getting comfortable with that, hear it, and as they get comfortable, maybe go and do the live stream. But the main thing right now is, especially when the TVs are there, is to handle how can we actually do the scripture, the lyrics. They're still going to use Sling Studio to live stream, but they're getting comfortable with this, and when they're comfortable, then they go live stream. We got it set up for Facebook, we got YouTube. We also have OBS configured so that it can actually run both if need be. And one of the networks went down, so I'll work on that. But anyway, let's get back to that. All right, folks, pretty much a nice, long, productive day. We got systems set up. We got plans in place to fix all the rest of the stuff, which is just 3 more SDI to HDMI converters that they're going to order. Should be here in about like 2 days. Connect everything up. And pretty much that's it. We got their sound going. Got everything wired up. I'm actually updating their router right now so it can actually be an access point, so that if anybody's on the tablet, they can connect instead of it being its own separate network. All of the coax is going away since the new TVs are going to be fiber optic connections directly. Cleaned out a lot of stuff. Got the stuff organized down here. Mounted some of their mics and stuff like that, cleaned out everything, got stuff set up to a power button that would turn everything off, have another one up here for the ATEM and some other things like that. So really working on their workflow. I believe they are going to upgrade to some of the cameras I suggested. Their cameras right now are 720p only, which you can maybe you can possibly see from the little graininess, but suggested some cameras to them. Also, it's going to be a IP based one, so it's going to be IP cameras with an IP joystick connecting to the PoE switch that we have down here. So ultimately, when that comes in, hook that up, and I think they said they're going to bring me back up to do the stuff there in the walls and things like that. So I really appreciate that. And then, and I think they were saying that this box was actually hiding everything, which I think it is because I can see the cables there. So we're gonna pull some new cables to go there, Ethernet cables to connect and everything, and I think we'll be good to go. So again, thank y'all so much for the invite. Looks like we're gonna be up here one more time to help them out. We're gonna break some bread here in a little bit, and then I am heading to the airport to get back home. Nice little one-day trip, and then we got some other stuff that we're going to be working on. We're going to be at Hood Temple AME. The TVs are going to be installed. We're going to start finishing up their sound system and see how far we can get with their video stuff. Finished doing their media booth, got the computer, all that stuff done. So we're going to do some work, and then after that, we're going to be back at Good Shepherd, start finishing up the right digital wall. Can we do it in one day? I don't know, but that's what we got going on. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of videos and you want me to keep doing this, I do this to show you the behind the scenes that most people don't talk about. But anyway, if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell, that way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is Dr. AJ, and we'll be catching you on the next video later.